Do you have an open mind enough to see the good without wanting to change things to what you're used to? Do you look at things with appreciation even if there's no understanding? Do you choose to focus on the good things around you instead of only seeing what you feel is deficiencies? So we will share our experience of living the dream of living here in Sicily. Hi, I'm Gigi.
And I'm Jeff.
This isn't going to be your typical controversial, political, opinionated version of Sicily versus the United States, the good and the bad. Because let's face it, different parts of the world are different. It doesn't mean that it's bad or worse, but it's different. What's important is how you approach different. What we love about Italy. Food. The food is fantastic. You can't beat it. It's not just all about pasta and pizza, but they really do eat a lot of fresh vegetables, fruits, things that really are important to us. Everything is seasonal, fresh, and molto buono.
It's fresher. It's whatever's in season, that's what you're getting. So you kind of change, with the different seasons as to what your diet and your meals are going to be, and you just appreciate the freshness of all those products. And the ortofrutta stands and trucks around here, they have whatever's in season and it's fresh.
And the Etna volcano has made the soil so fertile so that you really do see the benefit that it adds to the vegetables and fruits. It makes them bigger, tastier, and so forth. So we love the food. The art and architecture, oh my gosh, it's like everywhere you walk, you see this beautiful architecture in a way, it's like a delight to the eyes. Amazing buildings and frescoes and carvings and things that you really appreciate the workmanship involved. It's amazing.
Stone cutting with prehistoric tools, without power tools or whatever, and constructing these things. It's a phenomenal task. It's and the end product is just super. I can't explain it enough.
And to the creative mind, it just is so inspiring when you see these works of art on top of buildings and so forth. So walking around is a joy. It's a visual masterpiece. You see a painting in every angle, like Jeff said, a Kodak moment. So we, especially in Sicily, get to enjoy the mountains and the sea, and it's such a beautiful landscape. Number 3, a simple life. We come from America where things are very bustling and high pressure and a lot of unbalanced work versus rest. And it makes everyone all stressed out, in my opinion.
They work just enough so that they can live.
Yes.
They don't live to work, they work to live.
You know, people aren't concerned about what do you do to make a living, or they don't even ask you, what do you do for work? Like that's a normal thing that people question where we come from. But here it's more importantly like, how do you make your bread, or what do you put in your sauce or something? The things that affect everyday life in a simple way. And that simplicity is great because, you know, basically it feels more balanced. It's a joy to have and take the time to think about things without all that pressure. And you don't feel guilty if you just want to rest that day.
Yes, yeah, the simpler the better.
Yeah. Number 4, easy travel. We're in Europe. You can take a flight for €39 to fly anywhere.
Just about
Milan, anywhere in Italy. From Sicily to Rome, Sicily to Milan, Sicily to Bologna, Florence, wherever you want to go. It's very, very affordable.
You can take a train right from Catania. They put the train on a barge and take it across the Straits of Messina and put it back on the tracks on the other side, and off you go. It's kind of a slow train, but it's very scenic as I understand it. We haven't done it yet, but it sounds like it might just be fun to do once, just to see what it's like.
So travel is easy, it's affordable. You know, like if I wanted to take a flight from the United States, from Florida, just to Massachusetts or Rhode Island to see family or friends, it's like $300, $400, $600 just to travel. Where here it's €39 to go from Sicily to Rome or Milano or something. So very, very different, easily affordable transportation, and in any form you want. Number 5, healthcare. I really enjoy how well taken care of we are here. As an Italian citizen, I have access to the hospitals, a doctor, and it's drugs in a very, very affordable way. One thing I truly appreciated is doctor visits. Both my husband and I have had to see a doctor while we've been here in Sicily, and the doctor is amazing, where I can email him my problem, and then he will actually email me back within that day or the next day, and then go over if we need to come in for a visit, tell us to come in. Many times it's been, okay, come in later today, which could be 10 p.m. at night. And then we get there and he brings us up to his office and takes us in, and it's like we're talking to a friend. Yep. We can just tell him what's on our mind. We don't feel rushed or pressured, or like I have my next appointment coming up. It's like, just relax. How's the family? You know, bring them a gift of wine or whatever you'd like to do. And then it's so amazing to have that kind of doctor relationship that you can do that with. And also, like in pharmacies, you can just go to your pharmacy, and sometimes there's a doctor usually associated with the pharmacy. There's certain types of pharmacies, a parapharmacy, one that has a doctor on call right there. So if you have like an ear infection or something, you can tell them and they can give you something. You don't always need a prescription, but even the prescription I do have for thyroid, it costs me what, €2.60? For 50 tablets, it's like a month and a half for €2.60. So healthcare is a complete different story. Also, if you go to a hospital, like Jeff could go to a hospital and the experience would be the same. There's no bill, there's just, the first thing you do when you arrive is, what's your insurance, and let's fill out the paperwork. No, they actually care about people and like addressing whatever your problem is.
And they worry about the rest later. The pharmacies are incredible because the pharmacists go to college forever, I think. They're one step short of a chemist or something. I'm not quite sure how to explain it. But you can go in there and show them that, you know, you've got some kind of rash. They know exactly what to prescribe. They're like a doctor. And I bought antibiotics because I had an ear infection.
Yeah.
It costs €12 for the antibiotics. Once you buy them, you can go back and get them. You don't need a prescription. You can just go back and get them whenever you need them. So once they prescribe the correct dosage and type, you know what to use if you get another ear infection.
Yeah, well, the doctor actually prescribed it,
exactly.
But as long as we kept the prescription, or they have it on file, or a photo of it,
that's right.
or tell them, you just go in there, oh, bisogno, I need, and whatever it is, and, you know, they give it to you. So
like we just mentioned, they care about the health and the care of the patient before they're worried about getting you out the door, putting you in a little cubicle and getting you waiting on you, charging you $75, whatever the case may be. I don't even know anymore, and then getting you out the door as fast as they can so they can go on to the next one. They have
And they're not all
Sad.
about pushing drugs on you. Like their philosophy, they have homeopathy and herbal medicines, and like what is the best for you. It's not just about getting a kickback on the drug that they're going to write a prescription for. They don't have all these commercials with drugs. Like that was the biggest thing I noticed, is no commercials about drugs.
Nope.
And then at the end of it, you could die from it. So, I mean, it's insane.
side effects might be up to and including you might die.
So it is we feel more well cared for here. If you search Italy healthcare, we did a search on the best healthcare, and it came up number 2.
In the world.
Yeah, so, even though maybe Sicily is a little behind the mainland Italy, but I still feel like we get very well taken care of.
It's just as good. It's something that we're not used to in the United States.
And we really appreciate it.
And you guys know what we're talking about. Now that we've got more accustomed to the just getting used to the way that you do things here, it's way more easier it's nice. We enjoy it. We've grown to like it.
Yeah, very much. Okay, so is it all La Dolce Vita? Well, if you take all the beautiful traits that we love about Italians in mind, it carries over to everything else that happens. Like, for instance, I think Jeff touched on it, that lackadaisical attitude that they have about, it's a beautiful day today. We'll just close our store and go to the beach. I mean, that's what shopkeepers will do. And like Jeff had said, through August, everything is pretty much closed down. Everyone's on vacation. So they go away for months in the summer. They nearly close everything in August. And if you need like a document or something like that, there's not a specific place to go. You have to acquire it. And we need help interpreting it, because if it's some kind of official thing, we don't want to misunderstand, because that's been known to happen with us. So our Italian is very limited. And the Sicilian, I don't know at all. So we always need to ask for help. So the language barrier is the most difficult thing. So basically the advice is, if you're going to live in a foreign country, know the language. That will help you tremendously. But we don't. We are still continuing to learn it. But that lackadaisical attitude in the carries over to affecting other things. So the good things about it also affects the things that are harder. So the thing with us is we are involved in a beautiful, diverse congregation that has many people that speak English and Italian and many other languages. So we're able to get the help that we need. If you don't have access to a group of people like that, it would be more difficult, but we do. So we're so grateful for that. So if we encounter problems or difficulties, we can ask them. They give us advice and direction, or help us, take us where we need to go, or translate for us. So, that part is great for us. But also, like if you go into a grocery store and trying to get an ingredient, sometimes that friendly Sicilian attitude, you might be just running in to get like an ingredient that you want to finish your recipe, and what happens, Jeff?
Well, there's usually no such thing as running in quickly to get something. When you get into some of these grocery stores, depending on the time of the day, in the morning and in the evening, they're very busy. In the afternoon is the best time to go. That's what we found. There's the least amount of people in there because they're home taking their break, their afternoon siesta, or whatever they do. However, even at that point, there's usually 1 or 2 cash registers open, and there's probably going to be a line.
A long queue.
Once in a great while, you hit it where you don't really have to wait.
But the line is different.
The line barely moves, because if everybody in the line has been there on a regular basis and the cashier knows everybody, they all know it, they start talking.
Yeah.
And the talking can go, I don't really know what they're saying, but some of it I kind of know. And they're talking about the upcoming holiday, or the food they just got, or this friends, and how's this one, how's that one.
And with each person in line.
And it moves at turtle speed.
Yeah. There's no rush.
There's no rush. You don't get so.
And nobody complains.
When we first started doing it, we'd get like, I want to get out of here. Well, guess what? We're retired.
Yeah.
Getting out of here and go where? We finally realized we learned to slow down.
Yes, we did.
Just cut it down a notch or two, and just go. You know what? It's much more.
It's
pleasant.
enjoyable.
It is.
Yeah.
You get to watch the people and what they buy and arguing over the price. It's almost a show most of the time. So.
But the benefit is you do slow down because you have no choice. So you can either get frustrated, and that's what we talked about. It's how you approach it. So you can approach it in a way of, okay, let's just enjoy what's happening at the moment, be in the moment, instead of, what you have to do. We'll wait. Like, everything isn't as dramatic or traumatic as you think it is. It's like, it's okay. You can go slow. Give yourself permission to slow down.
Yep.
It's okay.
Exactly.
And they do. That's how it functions. And they look at you strange if you get all like American on them, or crazy on them. A big problem that is something that everyone who comes here has to deal with, and that is the bureaucracy. It is worse than anything you can imagine, because you need papers to do things and permissions to do things, and because they're always updating or whatever, nobody seems to know. So you can go in 3 different places and get 3 different answers of what you need and what you don't need. So
asking the same question,
Yes.
the exact same question in each place, you will get their version of it. It is very inconsistent and very frustrating because some places, nothing's a problem. You can pretty much go in and get what you want. Other places, to get that same thing, they don't even want to talk to you unless you got this, that, and this.
It's so slow. It's so tedious. It's so
bad.
difficult. And so sometimes you feel a bit stuck and helpless because you don't even know what they want, and then they get frustrated with you because, so then you have to bring an interpreter. So all this requires planning and so forth, and then you could pretty much spend a day, I'm not kidding you, a day accomplishing one paper. For instance, one of the things that is also part of this bureaucracy is the driving license problem. In the United States, because each state requires a different license, it's not like one country. Like, you have to either have an international driver's license, which you can drive for 1 year. If you're here for more than a year, it's required that you have to acquire an Italian driver's license. What's the problem with that?
And in doing that, you have to speak Italian, because the tests are given in Italian. The written test is given in all in Italian, and when you go for the driving test with an officer, it's in it. They speak Italian. They're not going to speak English to you to tell you what to do. So you have to understand a fair amount of Italian.
So when you start with this, first of all, you have to go to a school. Costs quite expensive.
700 euros.
Yeah.
Driving school.
Yeah. And then they teach it in Italian. The test can be taken in Italian, French, Spanish, and I think Filipino or something.
Oh yeah, and there's actually more than languages than that.
Maybe.
They'll let them take it in their language, but not us.
English has now been cut out of the test. Used to be a long time ago that you could take it in English, not anymore. So you have to go to this driving school, and you have to take a written exam that you have to pass, and there's 40 questions?
Yes.
In Italian, and it's difficult for the Italians, from what our friends say.
Yes.
So it's nearly impossible for us to learn these specific language rules. So there's an app that you can practice on. It's all in Italian. You have to take the test in Italian. And when you get your permit to drive, like you are 16 years old in the States, they put this big P on your car, and you have to drive with that for a certain amount of time. For all the things that don't make sense or annoy us or we find difficult, we enjoy very much living in Sicily, very much.
Yes.
We've been very proud of how the Italians have handled the COVID problem. Everyone bonded together and followed the regulations and rules and wore masks and stayed at home and social distance. And it really made a difference, the way they handled the lockdown. Many of the friends were able to have food delivered to them. and they still got paid a percentage of their job.
The government offset the lack of their paychecks from their businesses. The government stepped up, and I think it was like 80% of their paycheck. Something like that.
It was a percentage.
It was
I don't remember.
So
40. I don't remember what.
They were able to get through it.
Yeah.
With at least enough of a paycheck.
Yeah, and they had food delivered.
Sure,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, they supplied them what they needed. It was difficult being under the lockdown because, I mean, they wouldn't let anyone even leave their homes unless they had a reason. So it wasn't that it was easy, but they accomplished it, and it made the numbers go down. Unfortunately, in the summer, when Italians really love to be social, when the lockdown was relaxed, unfortunately, there was so many visitors, and that the fun began, and it allowed travelers and everyone.
Well, they kind of had to do it because the economy was suffering so bad. Because Italy's primary income is tourism and travel and so forth. So they just had to do it. The numbers started going back up again. Yeah.
So then. The things that were different were that there were, in the United States, when we were there when the pandemic began, you have political people saying it's all not even real, and then you have people thinking it's not real, and people that are trying to wear masks, but it wasn't regulated, and every state could do whatever they decided. So it was a lot of confusion, and it was handled in a way that was difficult, like you couldn't get a test. Where here they do free testing, they do contact tracing where they have an app that you sign in. If you come in, we had to quarantine for 2 weeks when we arrived, and there's an app that you go through. They check on you every day and make sure that you still have no symptoms and so forth. So basically, it's appreciative the way that they've handled it, because in comparison, where in the United States was total confusion and delusion, we would much rather be in Italy at this time as far as safety from the coronavirus and being able to feel like we could be treated without it costing, so much money. So those are two things that we really do appreciate about being a Sicilian.
Yeah. So by quarantining and cutting down on your travel, you can't go here, there, and everywhere. Now we're in a yellow zone, so we can leave our community. But when you're in a orange or red, even the red's even worse. It's not good, and it works because we've watched in the last month and a half. You can see the numbers every day. The numbers, there's more people recovering, more people being released from the hospitals, less cases, still too many deaths though.
In conclusion, I dreamed of Sicily. My dreams came true. We made that dream a reality to get citizenship, be able to move here. Jeff was willing to do that with me. He actually could have his citizenship. The Miami, that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, the Miami consulate kind of dropped the ball, but here we go again with the bureaucracy. We talked about it.
Yeah.
And we won't talk about it again because there's no fixing it. It's the bureaucracy and the way they do things. Simple as that.
So we did fall in love with Italy, its charms, its quirks, the things that we love about it, the things that we find difficult, but still overall, to be able to not have to worry about material things and having a simple life. These are things that brought us joy, to have peace and less stress. And so we have more pleasure without guilt living here. So for us, the realities that we've encountered are common to all the countries living in these difficult times. But here can be overcome with a walk near the sea. You breathe it in, you look at it, and you're like, we can manage this.
That and a good bottle of wine will get you a long ways.
Yeah.
Which in Sicily, I don't think we mentioned the wine. The wines are just phenomenal everywhere.
Yeah, we have mentioned wine.
Yeah, well, you gotta mention.
I'll leave a link there for you.
That's a positive thing. I want to be positive. Leave on a positive note here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's our experience. It's not that it is good and bad. There's good and bad no matter where you are.
Absolutely.
It's in your attitude of how you view the differences in places, And, for us, we just love the peacefulness of the sea, the good food, the good wine, and the friendliness of the Sicilian people. So we've come to really love that. And we always have our prayers and love to our friends in the United States that haven't been able to travel or get away from that environment. We know that soon good things will come, if not now, in the new system to come soon. So you're always in our love and prayers, and we give you kisses from Sicily. Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.